you'll allow me to engage the Senator of Kisumu County, that is Fred Outa, to help us understand if all these developments can be viable. Mr. Fred,
yes.
Thank you, and welcome to KBC on our News Check Live show. This morning we are talking about the state of the nation, regarding the state of preparedness with regards to the forthcoming polls. In your position as the senator and a political player, do you think the IEBC is prepared enough, and do the electorate have confidence in the electoral body? Let's begin there.
First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank the people of Kisumu. And I, as the Senator of Kisumu, first of all, I'm really contented with the preparedness of the IEBC, and I want to give the chair of the IEBC, Chebukula Wakati, a kudos for the first time in the history here in Kenya. It's the first time that Kenya will experience that the fourth estate, that is the media houses, will have their own tallying center and be able to contrast or compare with the IEBC and other tallying centers. And also he has given the mandate of even the candidate themselves to be able to organize their own tallying center. And for me, this creates transparency during the forthcoming general elections. And I want to thank them for this kind of gesture, so that we do not plunge this country into chaos like what we had witnessed previously. And so I, as the senator here, I'm much more happy, and I think the IEBC is ready for this job, and we must just be able to go out and rally our voters to be able to vote for our candidates.
Exactly. And talking about the political players going out and to convince as many voters as possible as they try to rally the voters behind their individual, their own factions. Do you think the concept that is being introduced by the Azimio faction of zoning, or rather putting in place the necessary steps to ensure that they emerge victorious, especially in their strongholds, so that they don't get outwitted by their political rivals?
I first of all want to declare my interest that I'm a Azimio member, by the virtue that I'm an ODM life member number 19. And I want to categorically state that when Azimio was formed, we had in mind that different political parties will come together with one goal: to mobilize the votes for our presidential candidate, and that is none other than Raila Amolo Odinga. So any other things beyond that, I have no clue. But I want to state categorically that even now there are some quarters that are agitating for zoning. It is just too late. The time was given before, where the Azimio as a family were conducting the survey, and they were also looking other ways to see who is the favorite candidate or a strong candidate in any given area, especially from the MCS through the MP, women rep, up to the governor. That was already been given, and up to date, we only have 6 more days so that the IEBC will close that chapter. So many people have been given that opportunity, and the thought that people are trying to bring in a Azimio that now we can start doing zoning, it is just too late. It is ill informed, so that people with that different ideologies, from my view, they are more agitating that we fail to gather more votes for our presidential candidate.
What would you suggest as maybe the viable option apart from zoning, so that the Azimio faction, so to speak, get as many seats as possible?
You know, for example, when we talk of Azimio as a party, it's a coalition of many parties. So here in Nyanza, you know, when we talk of Azimio, other people who are given direct tickets by ODM, which is also a member of Azimio, they are always trying to intimidate other political parties by saying that when we talk of Azimio, we are referring to ODM, which they are missing the target. What I'm saying here in Kisumu County, or let me speak on behalf of the people from Nyanza, that is not going to be able to give us or mobilize enough vote to our presidential candidate Raila Amolo Odinga, because the mistake was already done by the ODM party by giving direct tickets to what we call weak candidates. Those are just weak candidates. And the electorates now, they are very wise. So people who have been given those direct candidates, now they have been rejected by the electorate, especially in Nyanza. That's why you see the call for 6 Ps is not going well with the people here.
Yeah. Before we go to the 6 Ps as actually being proposed by the ODM party, let's just talk about the zoning concept. What would you suggest as the viable option if Azimio really wants to gather as many seats as possible?
The time was given and the time is out. The train has all left the station. So now if you are trying to do zoning with six days to go so that the IEBC will close their books for the candidates, that to me means that you are trying to create chaos within the Azimio, because no any politician would be able to will be willing at this time to talk about zoning, because they have spent their money, their time has gone, they are prepared, the electorate already also have already warmed up to them. So like we speak now, in those areas of Azimio, those who are having more than 2 candidates in Azimio, they have already rift already. Just like, for example, here in Kisumu, we have Jack Ranguma in MDG and Anyang' Nyong'o on ODM as the candidate for gubernatorial of Kisumu County. And as I speak today, there will be a big landslide where Jack Ranguma will give Nyong'o. Because
okay.
that's what is here.
That is according to your
if
gauge.
you're talking about the zoning, the person, when you talk about zoning, we look at different parties within the Azimio. So if we're going for popularity, people with the strong muscles, people who can gather vote for the presidential candidate, it will be my request that Anyang' should step down, if that's the reason.
Well,
he doesn't have people.
Okay, that is according to your assessment on the ground, exactly. Yeah. And now talking about the 6 Ps voting pattern being proposed by the ODM party, we know that this is Kisumu, and talking about the Luo Nyanza, basically it's the ODM party that is quite dominant, yes. And we're looking at the voting pattern, the 6 Ps. Do you think this is viable, and will the electorate maybe heed to that call?
It has already been rejected all over Nyanza region, and that is 4 counties. It has already been rejected. We should not push it. Any moment we try to open that Pandora box, what we are saying is that we are denying Raila Amolo Odinga more votes that he needed to win this presidential forthcoming general election. Because at any moment that you try to do that, there will be voter apathy. People have already decided who they want to vote. For today, if you come and dictate it to an individual that you step down for so-and-so, and unpopular, like in my area here where people got direct ticket of ODM, they are having hard time even to go out and look votes for Raila. Those tickets, since they got them, they have already put them under a mattress. They are not campaigning anywhere because people have rejected the call of 6 Ps, whereby the party would be able to impose a weaker candidate or an individual who is a non-deliver of services. What people need now, a strong candidate, an individual who can bring services to the people. So that to bring to attention of people who are agitating for 6 Ps in this region, let bygone be bygones. People have already rejected 6 Ps, and they will vote an individual or parties under the Azimio a strong candidate who can give them the services.
All right. Now just taking back briefly about the status of preparedness of the IEBC party. It is just over a month before we head to the polls. What are some of the specific aspects that do you think should be looked into to ensure that we have a smooth electoral process?
For us, we really want to have a very peaceful and transparent process during this coming general elections, because we do not want to bring this country into chaos, since we have had corona, who has really interfered with people's lives. we want to get back to our work immediately after the 9th. So for me, I'm also appealing to all the candidates that we should be able to conduct ourselves very maturely and sell our ideologies rather than creating violence, and especially in Kisumu County or in Nyanza area. So what we are trying to say, the goal has already been set. The candidates are there.